On the show this morning, taking their fight to the capital, fury from farmers after inheritance tax rises. Improving access around her town. We're out with Liz for this week's Your Shout.
Some places have said, oh, you know, we don't get many wheelchair users in, so we don't feel the need to adapt, and that obviously is crazy.
And as the Women's Equality Party
It's still men who hold a lot of the high positions of power.
But before that, it's time for the part of the show when you have your say. This week, we've been out with Liz Owen, who's campaigning to make her home in the town of St Neots in Cambridgeshire more accessible. She's already had some success, but Liz says there is still a long way to go.
Access in St Neots is a group for promoting disabled awareness in and around St Neots. We have the changing places and the Riverside toilet block being refurbished, which has recently reopened. That's amazing. It's got a changing bed, it's got a toilet with remote control. It's an amazing space for anyone with severe mobility issues and disabilities. Definitely number one is cars parking on pavements and blocking drop curbs. That happens every single time I come into town. Also shops not being accessible, whether it's through just that they don't want to be or they think that they're already accessible, they're not. And the attitudes of the public as well, I think is a huge stumbling block. We have funding being given from the County Council for drop curbs and pavement improvements in and around the town centre. And we also have Project Doorbell, which I run, which is giving doorbells to businesses that can't be as accessible, but basically making the best of what we've got, really. Some places have said, oh, you know, we don't get many wheelchair users in, so, you know, we don't feel the need to adapt, and that obviously is crazy because obviously if they were accessible, they would get more people in, and they're putting people off by not being accessible. When we had the Olympics in London in 2012, everything was supposed to change, and as a disabled person going somewhere like London, nothing's really changed. So yeah, I'm kind of ever hopeful, but you know, it's tricky to be when there's still a lot of barriers to face.
Just seeing Liz, you know, struggling to get up a curb there through that gap with the bike brings it home, doesn't it? I mean,
Completely.
Milton Keynes is pretty impressive, isn't it? We had Purple Tuesday this week.
Yep.
Very accessible.
Well, we absolutely recognise that purple pound is so important to any economy, any high street. There's a real economic case here, but there's also just a real justice and equality case here. Why shouldn't, if you live in a town, be able to use it? So in Milton Keynes, businesses have invested in changing places. If you go to Milton Keynes Shopping Centre, which so many people in the region do.
In fact, Liz goes there, I think.
In fact, Liz goes there. There is a changing places toilet. It allows you to maintain your dignity and do your shopping in a way that we all want to in this, you know, as we go up to the holiday time, and it's really important to do.
I mean, Patrick, it's not just about accessibility, is it? In towns and cities, you represent a rural area. Sometimes it's very difficult for people with reduced mobility to get out in nature and feel able to enjoy that as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my constituency, I have a lot of people who are above the state pension age who are facing mobility issues. You hear a lot from them on the importance for them to get out, to be able to enjoy our natural environment. The impact, though, is huge if they're not able to on their mental health, on their sense of inclusion in society. So it's a massive thing for us here in central Suffolk, and something very important for any government to take up.
So I think we all say well done to Liz for what she's doing, but
100%.
Obviously she needs sort of support from businesses and councils and MPs and all the rest of it. What's your take on it, Millie?
Well, I actually have a hidden disability. I have a spinal cord injury, so I sometimes wear a little badge so that people are a little bit more kind kind of understanding and perhaps would let me sit down on the train if I had to stand, for example. So I'm only just starting to navigate all of that because I've only just had a diagnosis after 7 years, having to battle through the NHS to get answers. But I think if businesses can make more accommodation for people with additional needs, it's getting a lot better. There's a lot more understanding, and bravo, just more of that, please.
Yeah, still somewhere to go.
Yes, absolutely.
As Liz is saying. Well, look, thank you so much, Liz, for getting in contact and letting us film with you. You've given us all a lot to think about. As always, I love it when you get in touch with the programme. Let me know what you'd like to shout about. My email, amelia.reynolds@bbc.co.uk.